Hey guys, so I know it's Thursday and I know I said that I was gonna post a weight loss video yesterday, and I did film some content for it, but then after I watched the content, it kind of made me feel like a D-bag, I'm not gonna lie. Because what I saw in there, it was just kind of like disturbing to me when I really kind of watched it. Because in the video, I'm like kind of really freaking out because for the last couple of nights, I have not wanted to eat after dinner, and I had eaten. I ate a bowl of ramen noodles one night. I ate a bowl of cereal one night, and I ate some ice cream one night, and I thought that I was back in the 150s and I was just really upset with myself. But then I was thinking, well, I'm exercising sometimes 2 hours a day, walking, doing some light cardio. And I wasn't really overeating. Like, I mean, yeah, I did eat when I didn't want to, and they weren't the healthiest of choices, but it's not like I went really crazy or anything. And so for me to freak out that much over that little, that's not really something that I wanted to represent. So, I am human. I'm working on myself. I'm not this weight loss guru, and I don't want to try and portray that I am. I have lost some weight, but this is the first time I have lost like 30 pounds once more in my life, but this is like pretty much my first time, I guess, because that was a long time ago. It feels like the first time that I am trying to lose a significant amount of weight, and I just want to do it the right way. I don't want to get obsessive with it or anything like that. But I will show you guys my weight now. So I'm 149, and that's okay. And I'm gonna step it up with the exercise. I started running today. I haven't really tried to run since I hurt myself trying to do 75 hard. So that's that's something I think will really step up the weight loss. So I'm happy about that. And then this is what I look like right now. I still have this part that I don't like at all. So, but it is Throwback Thursday, and in this episode of Throwback Thursday, I'm gonna kind of share some of my lore, if you will, I guess. So I had gone to this children's mental hospital that was just like a acute type of hospital. You don't stay there very long, and I had gone there probably like 3 times. I was probably around 13, 14 years old, and on this time I had found out that they were gonna take me to Sandy Pines, which is a long-term children's psychiatric hospital, and I did not want to go there. My psychiatrist actually at the time was kind of creepy to me because he really was interested in a lot of the details of my essay stories. And one time I was sharing a story with him, and he was like, well, what'd you do? Just lay there, spread eagle? And he spread his legs really wide and he scooted really close to me. And I don't know, he just kind of creeped me out, but he was a really highly regarded child psychologist. So I decided that I was gonna escape from there, and I had seen a crazy adult try to escape because there was adults on another unit, and he was actually strong enough to kick the door open, and he ran through to the cafeteria, and there was a glass door, and he kicked that, and he ran out. But I knew that there was no way I was strong enough to do something like that. They had actually accidentally gave me a bottle of perfume. I don't know how or why it got through, but I was like, well, maybe if I use this bottle of perfume, I'll dump it out and say I drank it, and they'll have to take me over to the emergency room, and then I can run away when they open the door. So that's exactly what I did. I poured the perfume down the drain, and I put some like on my lips a little bit, and I went to the tech and I was like, I drank this bottle of perfume, I don't feel good, I think I really hurt myself. And so then they called the paramedics and they put me on the bed, and they didn't shut me down or anything like that. And as soon as we went outside, nobody was with me, just the paramedics. And I jumped off the bed and I started running. And it was just like one of those horror movies where you try to run and you instantly fall. That happened to me. And the paramedic guy grabbed me, but the other paramedic lady was like, hey, you can't do takedowns. And so I was like, oh shit, that means you can't grab me. So I started running. But, I was just a stupid young teenager. I didn't have any plan at all. I didn't have anyone to call. I didn't have anywhere to go. So I just went and hid in this parking lot, and they found me pretty quickly and took me back. So then I was definitely going to be going to that long-term psychiatric hospital. After that, the psychiatrist freaked out, called my mom. My mom was really upset, like, how could you let her escape? What the hell? They were really, really concerned about trying to transport me because they were scared I was going to run away. They didn't let me, leave the unit anymore. They were really careful with me. I was a flight risk. So that sucked. I had to go there. They took me there. I had to drive there nonstop. They wouldn't let me stop to go to the bathroom or anything like that. They took me there, and that is where I met Dr. Merkatz, the doctor that I told you about later on. I didn't really like him at all either. He always wore these shirts, these button-down shirts, open, and he had a lot of chest hair, so that was kind of weird. And he had a lot of kung fu trophies in his office, and I asked him about it, and I said, oh, you do karate? And he's like, no, it's kung fu. But he was the one who diagnosed me as bipolar. I recall one time he was walking around eating gummy bears, and he kept dropping them on the floor, like purposely, like almost like he got off on watching the crazy kids pick them up and eat them. But like I said, sadly he did go on to unalive himself. I don't, he was kind of weird, but that is sad for anyone who has to experience something like that. But yeah, going into that hospital, it was really, really weird. They had cameras in some of the rooms. I met a lot of girls there that were really, really troubled. I remember once they put me in a room with this girl, and I still remember this song that she used to sing. It was soda on my apple, soda, soda on my apple, apple. That was actually amusing, but then one time I was trying to fall asleep and she said, do you know that I can't probably say this, but she was insinuating that she was doing something that you definitely wouldn't want somebody to be doing next to you in the same room that you don't know or like. And I was like, oh god, this is weird. And then she was like, what would you do if I attacked you when you were sleeping? And I was like, okay, it's time to switch rooms. So I requested to switch rooms. They put me in the room of this really young girl, and she had a problem where she would just like eat a lot, and she seemed like a cool, fun girl. She was kind of bratty, maybe like a spoiled brat. But I remember this story. One time she told me that she ate all her mom's pasta vajol or something, and her mom was really mad about it. I don't know. It was weird. But I met another girl there that I got really close to, and she was really good at drawing salad fingers, if anybody knows who that is. And the things that we would do in there, we would we were on a level program, and we could like work to earn privileges. Everybody in there loved to draw and do crochet and knit. They all taught us that, so everyone wanted to get on levels so they could knit and crochet. We got really close, me and that girl, that we were like best friends. They would take us sometimes if we were like good, they would take us to the movies or the beach. And I actually like started liking it there. And I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to go back home to my parents because things were like so tumultuous. How do you say it? I can't say it. Tumultuous at my parents' house. So I didn't want to go back there, and I was actually happier in that long-term kids psych hospital. I remember my best friend at the time, she was upset because my mom had told her that I wanted to stay there longer, and she actually kind of stopped being my friend after that, and she got a new best friend, and that really hurt me because me and her, I don't know, maybe this is weird or maybe other girls can relate, but we're really, really best friends, and to the point that we were almost in love with each other, but we didn't want to do anything like, more than kiss or hold hands, but it was like, we were just such best friends. It was crazy, and we ran away together. That's how I had to go. That's why they decided that I had to go to this long-term kids hospital, is because I had ran away once before because some things in my house were so bad, and after the whole thing with the adult man grooming me, I ran away once, but the first time I ran away, I actually just lived in the woods at the beach, and it sucked really bad. I'll talk about that more in another video if you guys want, but yeah, then the second time I ran away, she really wanted to go with me. She was hurt that I didn't take her the first time, so we planned it a lot better. We stole her mom's truck. She actually had pigs in FFA, and she sold her pig and got money from that, and we went up to Ohio. We live in Florida. We drove up to Ohio. She had never driven on 95 before. We dyed our hair in a Flying J bathroom, and we went up there and we stayed with some friends that she had that had already graduated and moved up there, and we just like smoked weed and got drunk, and then she wanted to go home. So we came back, and I pretty much got the whole blame for everything. They pretty much were like, I talked her into that, and I'm a bad influence, so yeah, that's how I came to have to go to that long-term place. But um, I remember actually I saw one of the girls that I known there. She was really like popular there. I saw her. She was working at Walgreens in Miami, and I said, "Hey, do you remember me from Sandy Pines?" And she was like, "I don't talk about that time in my life anymore. That was a really dark time to me, and don't ever talk to me about that again." So I obviously didn't. I avoid her anytime I see her now. So that's kind of weird, but yeah, I stayed there for a long time, and I honestly didn't mind it. I learned my social security number there. I had friends there. Yeah, my psychiatrist was weird, but the food was good, and there were really troubled kids there, but I felt like nobody judged me there, and I felt like I was accepted there, so that actually wasn't such a bad time in my life going there. After that, I did go home for a little bit and stay at my parents' house, but it didn't last very long there, so my mom actually decided, hey, if you don't want to live here anymore, you're not happy living here anymore, you can move out actually. So I did move out at 16. I moved into a friend's house, and I started working at McDonald's, and I would pay his mom rent. Me and him shared a room. He was gay. Um, so it wasn't like weird that we shared a room, and I would walk to work and walk back home, and that's how I pretty much lived for a while. But anybody who works in fast food knows that you don't make very much money working in fast food. So I was just broke all the time. And then his mom turned out that she wasn't actually paying the rent and we were going to get evicted. And by that time I was 18, so I decided that I needed to do something drastic. So I had seen this place driving by a lot of times when I was younger, and for some reason it always like fascinated and intrigued me. It was called Body Talk. It was a really like crappy strip club, but I didn't know it was crappy at that time. I just knew it was a strip club, and like women go in there and they make a lot, they can make decent money, and they're just, you know what happens in strip clubs. So I thought, I think that I could do that, and I think that it would be something that I could make some money doing and support myself. So I had my friend drive me up there, and I was really, really scared. I was shaking. I had never done anything like that before. I knew I couldn't let my family find out about it because I knew my mom would freak out about it and just shame me so bad. So I was scared about that too. But I went in there and I talked to the owner, and he was really nice, and he was like, "Yeah, you just gotta audition, and we'll talk about what comes next." So I had figured out what songs I had wanted to dance to before I even went there. I picked Butterfly by Crazy Town and Closer by Nine Inch Nails. So those were my first two songs that I danced to, and I didn't really know how to dance. I didn't know how to do any pole tricks or anything like that, so I don't know how good my dance was, but the owner was like, "Yeah, I think you have potential, and he definitely got the look." So he explained to me the hours and everything like that, and what I should wear and what kind of shoes I should have. And I was like, okay, great. I signed the contract, and my actual name, my stripper name at that time was Echo. I actually got it from the show Lost. There was a character on there named Echo, and I thought that was like a cool name, so that was my name at the time. And I went to the club, and I was so scared. And then I actually saw this girl I went to elementary, middle school, and high school with, and she really over enthusiastically taught me how to do a lap dance. I was really scared, and I didn't like know how to approach people or anything, but um, I got through it somehow, and that's actually something that I ended up doing for like 10 years to support myself, because, like I said, I have been disabled since I was 22, but I was able to dance sometimes here and there because I didn't make that much money on disability. So, um, it's definitely, not everybody's proud of that, but I didn't dance there my whole career, obviously, but it's what got me started dancing, and it helped me support myself. So, I don't regret doing that. I had to live to support myself. So, I'll definitely share some more about my past. And next week, I'm actually going on a little mini vacation. It's kind of a surprise. If you guys want, I could like show you some of my traveling. I don't know if I'm really gonna want to vlog or anything, but yeah, thanks for watching this video.